the views of WTMP, its officers, staff, or advisors. Listen to the Call for Help show with attorney Paul Rebein every Saturday morning.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy best day of our life.
You feel better?
Yes.
813-305-7285. 813-305-7285.
That's what it was?
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Call for Help show. I'm your host, attorney Paul Rebein. With me, as usual in the studio, is my co-host, Robin Lockett. And back from the sick bed, Malcolm in the middle. Malcolm, we missed you.
Man, I miss you guys, man. Seriously, it's just you don't realize how much you miss something until it's gone from you. Because I missed Robin like a couple of weeks ago. I was supposed to get back on the show, and it didn't hit me until after I was gone. I was like, what was I supposed to do? Like, oh yeah, we were supposed to come back on again twice.
Yeah,
I was having a problem, man. Especially, man, when it come down to trying to log in without this, it's hard. It's hard to get on. I was with Robin. Maybe it took us a few minutes just for me to get on that line at that time. Yeah. I don't know what it is.
It's the California area code.
I guess.
Wow.
How's everybody doing?
Man, best day of my life, living in the moment, trying to stay focused on that because situations are going to constantly arrive to make you feel like, hey, it's not the best day, or there's issues, there's problems, there's family. So many people are just, man, breaking up, falling apart, just arguing. I mean, it's like something's been dropped on top of our head, and it's affecting many, many families and couples. I mean, it's crazy, you know. Few people I hear from. Is that what it is?
It's the holidays.
I thought that everybody get closer then. I thought that brought everybody a little bit more closer. Maybe it might be the stress behind it. I don't know. Maybe it's the stress behind the holidays, you know, before everybody needs money. It's crazy.
Yep.
Everything going on in the world, and on top of the expectations around the holidays.
And the expectations are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, you know, when you think about it, you know. And what was our topic for today? Because Christmas, it just seems so perfectly set, you know. I mean, when we think about this, I want to talk about this, man. When you say Christmas, what does it has to do with all of the gifts that we're doing now, though? Do you not think that this has just switched completely to about nothing but gift giving and gift receiving? And that's what we're teaching our kids. And you know, here's another thing that gets me with this holiday. We tear our kids' butt up for lying to us, but we keep carrying this lie that we call a good lie. It's a good lie. We've been carrying it for centuries, that there's this man that shows up with this red suit and slides down your chimney and bring you these toys, and we push this on these children at a young age and build their imagination up just to pull the cord from up under them.
Hold up. You saying Santa Claus is not real?
Absolutely. I've never seen him in my house when I was growing up, and I caught my Santa Claus because I stayed up and snuck out and looked out the window.
He's scared to come to your house.
I bet he was. I bet he would be. Because when I was in the receiving mode, I bet he did not want to come to 405 Avenue G. I guarantee you that. They'd have took his sled, gifts, reindeer, everything. That reindeer would have been in the hood.
They take the hubcaps off the sled?
Man, they taking everything. I'm telling you, they taking Rudolph's nose. They taking everything. Man, I grew up in Greenwood, Mississippi on McLawn and Avenue G. There ain't nothing over there, but you got to come with it. That's in the middle of it. I never saw Santa Claus.
I think the idea of Santa Claus is supposed to take the pressure off of the parents. From the kids, you know, the kids will be good, not for the parents, unfortunately, but in anticipation of someone else. So if they get something, if they don't get something, the parents can say, you know, you weren't good, or Santa Claus didn't bring that one. So I think it took the idea of it took the pressure off of the parents in regards to them being the person to give the gifts, because the kids be whining all year. Mama, get me this. Daddy, get me this. You know,
they're like that anyway. I just think that we set ourselves up for a lie that we have to unveil later on, and we do it over and over. We do it with the
But do you think kids right now believe? I don't think kids believe
many kids
that Santa Claus.
I mean, now the people who are keeping their kids enclosed and keeping them in that box and not allowing them out for a lot, they are. But the majority is pretty much a wrap.
I think the spirit of Santa Claus is real, and so you can be, people can be Santa Claus and give gifts to people that they don't know, or kids or whatever. So don't be down on Santa. Come on.
I'm not down on Santa Claus, because I'm gonna be honest with you. It never clicked for me. For a little kid, it never made sense. And I was always an outside thinker when I look back. It never made sense to me. How is this guy coming down this ceiling when we don't have a chimney? We don't have a fireplace.
That's why he wasn't there. You didn't have no chimney.
Well, we did have a chimney. We just didn't have a fireplace. There was a chimney. I don't know what happened. I just know there's one of the little stack things on top of the house. We had that little, you seen it. Well, you didn't see that. I did show you the house I grew up in. So I actually took you there.
Give us a call at 888-247-8712. Santa, if you're out there listening, call us.
Ain't happening.
Call us.
And life is about giving, right?
Yes.
Yes. That's the key. Life is about giving.
Well, somebody's on the line. I think I heard Santa in the background.
Maybe that was Santa saying, Robin, explain it to him. Break it down.
It is. Well, Santa, if you're out there, call us. Give us a post on our Facebook page. We want to hear from you, Santa, but I'm trying to have a good Christmas.
No, you're going to have a good one anyway. You just never believed in Santa Claus. You know you did. You had too many older brothers. There's no way they've been broke that secret to you by the time it got down to you. I know how that goes, because it was my brother that was telling me there was no Santa Claus. It was my older brother that was telling me there is no Santa Claus. The toys are in Tab's trunk. I remember him saying that specifically.
Malcolm, Santa's only real if you believe in him.
Well, I guess that's why.
Don't you always talk about you got to believe, you got to have faith?
Absolutely. On something. Well, I mean, I can believe that I'm going to jump off that building and fly, but I know it's not going to happen. But I can believe it. I can believe it if I jump off that building. All the faith I want.
But you just said you're not going to be able to, so you don't believe it.
Exactly. The belief is I believe that I will believe, and I know and I believe that I will not attempt and make it. It's a believe in them all. I believe that I can believe it, and I believe that I know that it ain't going to happen. It's just one of those things, and you know it too. But hey, Santa Claus is fading away. I will say it. It's becoming a big issue. I just saw while I was looking online where people were pissed off that the guy had a black Santa outside his house, and it contradicted what he was teaching his children, because they were confused, like, oh my God, Dad, that's Santa, he's black. And he's like, no, he's not. And then it became a deal. He went to try to get the guy to take it down. I got to find it and show it to you. It's crazy, man.
I want to see a trans Santa.
It's already here. You just did it. That's done.
Put up a can of worms.
Yeah, that's done. That's done. That's
why not?
Because you know it's coming.
Santa is for who? Yeah.
That's coming.
Whoever they come, Santa comes in all shapes and sizes. He ain't just white with a red nose.
Well, that's what we've been portrayed. It's been portrayed that way. And like I said, a guy was really upset and asked one of his neighbors in the neighborhood to take down his black Santa because it was.
And what did it? So what was the response? That's what
it sparked an issue. It was a big deal. The guy wasn't going to do it, but the guy was upset. Like, he was literally trying to push it across. Like, ain't no black Santa. Like, come on, man. We ain't never had no black Santa. It ain't never been pushing that deal. He's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you think Santa? And it became something. I'll look it up.
Really, Santa should be like an Eskimo looking guy.
Why do you say that?
Yeah,
because he's in the North Pole.
I guess that makes sense. They didn't even think about that. They didn't think about that, but that was just pushing the white agenda. So they never thought about at no time putting no Santa as somebody with an Eskimo. That wasn't gonna work.
Well,
when we know better, we do better.
That's right. We had an interesting week here in Tampa. Last week, Malcolm, you missed it. We were talking about the chief of police in Tampa got in some hot water.
Really?
She was driving a golf cart or riding in a golf cart with her husband with no tag, and a police officer pulled him over, and she pulled out the business card saying, "Do you know who I am? Can you just let us go?" And he did, but he had body camera on, and the media got a hold of it. We had several callers calling in saying that she should be fired, she should be disciplined. Other people saying we were being too hard on her. But this week, what happened?
She resigned.
She did not. She got fired. Is it resigning if you're asked to resign?
Yeah, well, it gives you the opportunity to have it on paper, but you know you got fired though.
Paul, what are you providing? The legal terms?
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
If somebody asks you, if your boss asks you to resign,
you got fired.
You getting fired.
Yeah, you got fired.
That's a good one. That's a good one, Paul.
But you're able to paperwork it as you resign. But everybody knows you got fired.
You get the benefits.
Yeah, you
got
get
the benefits. Okay, right. Gotcha. Wow, but I don't understand it. So the officer that pulled her over did not know that was the chief?
No,
because it was in a different place. She lives in Pinellas County. And
wait a minute, the chief of police for Tampa lives in Pinellas County?
We talked about that too. Her husband lives there. They have a house there. Their child goes to school there, but she's renting a condo in Tampa.
Yeah, makes
to
no
comply
sense
with the law.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's a bigger issue, right?
Somebody needs to look into that. Is she really leasing it?
That ain't gonna work.
But not only her, but that's what elected officials do. They'll live somewhere else, and then they'll when they win or whatever, they'll rent. Say that they're renting a place in the district that they are they're in, that they ran in.
Wow.
Yep. Well, I think somebody ought to look into that in particular, because I'd like to know who owns that condo. And is it a big political donor? Was she actually paying rent?
Interesting.
What was the rent? I don't know.
Did she get the $1,000 increase like everybody else?
That's funny. Who's the chief now?
interesting.
Who's the new chief?
There's an acting chief.
That don't live in the district.
Again?
No.
But wait a minute.
You don't live in the district.
Well, how are these people being elected and everyone knows they're not from the area?
So they're appointed, but the top tier, I guess it's a rule. I didn't really realize this. I guess I would have. If you're a top official like the chief, the mayor, and top people in the city, you have to reside in Tampa, the city of Tampa limits.
I would think so. That makes sense.
Yep. Rose said that they actually live and sleep in the apartment.
They said what they say?
They want to know if she actually sleeps there. And if you got a little child going to school 20, 30 miles away, I think you probably are not spending the night or many nights.
No.
In the
and I think the only way that should be possible if you live somewhere else and so their house is homestead. So I guess officially, wherever you homestead your property, that's your residence. So if they take that homestead off that property and pay the taxes on it to say that they don't live there and they pay full tax, then that's fine, right? That's fine. But a lot of them don't. They just go and rent an apartment because they're getting an additional salary somewhere else, and it's no hit to them.
I think if you're elected in a district, you need to live there. I would be okay if give them a grace period. Correct. If they weren't living there before or whatever, but especially if they're appointed, okay, we went and got somebody from somewhere else.
Appointed.
But you got to live there if you're going to, especially the chief of police.
Yeah, especially the chief of police.
What does that say? Like, I don't want to live in this.
Right. The community that I claim that I'm here to protect.
You should actually have to live in the highest crime area.
That.
If you're the chief.
Very interesting. That is something I've never heard before. That would be, now, Paul, you know something? That would strike up some controversy. Say, okay, you're the chief of police. I want you to move in the roughest area in the city and police that city. But hey, I guarantee you the crime will go down like that.
It would.
It'll go down instantly.
That would be funny.
If the mayor lived in that area, it would go down.
It'll go down immediately. Immediately. Ain't nothing going down. That's just, but wow, never heard that one. That'd be something good.
So
yeah, a lot of guys not want to run. They'd be like, oh, forget that.
I was a little bit surprised that I guess there was an ethics investigation, or somebody did an investigation and said that she violated.
That was fast.
The standards of whatever, and so
they don't like her. They don't like her, then, Paul, because they've been doing that forever.
Oh, but they said they don't do it. They said the turnaround is not that. I guess it's still under investigation. Is it?
I don't know. I just read about it in the paper, but I got to say I was a little bit surprised that it happened that quickly.
Yeah, they said it doesn't happen that quickly.
No, so what, was she drinking or something?
Yeah.
Was she drinking on the golf cart? Is that what it was? Because I don't get it. What's the big deal about her on a golf cart?
It was
it
was on a street. It didn't have a tag. It didn't. I don't know. It's not like street legal.
Right. She was driving on a golf course on a street.
Heading toward what?
Going home.
But I've seen that before. I've seen people in their neighborhoods pulling in and out of neighborhoods in a golf cart. I swear to God.
Not on the street, though.
Yes, I have, sis. On the street, in their golf cart, pull out of their neighborhood, go somewhere where they're going, and then come right on back in there with the golf cart. And I always look at that. I mean,
they got caught.
I guess that's the key. Don't get caught.
They didn't get caught, and they weren't the chief of police and weren't able to get out of it.
And he didn't know right away that was the chief, though.
No, but the other thing, Malcolm, was once he let him go, she made a point to say, take my card. If you ever need anything, and I mean anything, you call me.
Seriously.
I mean, I'd like to get that card.
Well, it's always there, man. I mean, they've always been like that, though, Paul. They've always looked out for each other. I forgot what they call that.
So the bigger thing to this is also they are supposed to uphold the law.
Yes.
They have the highest regard in that. That's what's wrong with the police department now and the good old boy system.
Yeah.
So you see, back in the day, Paul, you mentioned last week, people used to try to get those. They used to have stickers that a person would put on the outside of their car or whatever, so it can be seen.
Right.
So you gave to the police benevolent association.
Yeah. You can get them. You still just got to pay for them.
So, but regular people are trying to get those things. Girlfriends, trying to be identified as that. So if a police officer breaks the law, a traffic ticket, all these dang on red light cameras that's out here, they run it. Somebody stop them. They don't get a ticket?
Yeah, you get a ticket on that one.
If the ticket comes through on the red light camera and they know that that's a cop, they don't get charged?
I don't know.
I think it probably still goes out. It's electronic. It just takes license plates. It doesn't.
But it's ding that is a public. So they're protected.
Yeah, they still can walk into the DA's office.
That's a cop.
But they still probably can walk into the DA's office with the ticket and say, "Hey, John, I was driving by and it got me." And he's like, "Oh, don't worry about that. They can tear it up now anytime they want. The DA can prosecute what he wants or doesn't want."
When I lived in Kansas City, and I got a ticket, I just had to go down to the court where they were doing the tickets, and the attorney who was doing it would just drop it because I was an attorney.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
That's the way they used to do it.
And it's done even at a higher level when it comes down to police officers, because they're going to protect each other. I mean, my brother's in law enforcement. My whole family was in law enforcement. So I understand that they want to go home to their families too. They're going to protect themselves. They're going to do.
Well, protecting is one thing, but when they break the darn law and run a red light or speeding or anything of that nature outside of them in that patrol car, then that's problematic.
Oh yeah, but we all break the law.
How many times have police officers been done domestic violence and the police come out and don't do anything?
Correct.
Yeah, they get away with a lot of that, but they will tear you up too, though. They'll get you. I watched a couple lieutenants and a couple chiefs get pulled over, and they had to go ahead. No, I watched a chief he got exercised. The other chief came and got him from the neighboring city, came and got him. I watched that one, but I watched a lieutenant who was 5 days away from his retirement after doing 40 years go down.
Well,
the guy would not back. The guy would not back down. He would not.
California is different. The liberal city it is, state it is.
It depends on where it's at.
It's different.
You get the right guy behind you. This guy was not. They were talking to him. They kept saying, "Hey, now it's up to you. You can do whatever you want, but you could do this. You could do that." He's like, "No, he's drunk. He failed a test. He's this. Anybody else goes to jail, he's going to jail and sent to jail." Now the guy still got his stuff. All he did was admitted himself as being an alcoholic. I'm gonna get treated. You're not gonna take away my retirement in 5 days. But this officer was adamant about it. He would not let him go. But guess what? He's not a police officer anymore anyway. Also, you're gonna lose your job when you do something like that. You want to stand on that? You're gone.
Yeah, once you report another officer,
you're done. Your career's over.
They don't trust you anymore.
You're not trustworthy. They're not gonna do that.
So there's a bigger picture to this. It has something to do with, Chief O'Connor was just the vessel to point the light on it.
Yes.
Right, to shine the light on it. But there's a bigger issue with this and the police department with their ability to turn the eye. If I don't care if you're a police officer or not, and if you're off duty or doing something and is illegal, then you should be held to the same standard as a regular folk.
You should, but they're not. They're not.
Yeah.
That's a fact. I know this for a fact. This is something I know for a fact. They are not held to the same.
And if it's required that you live within the city limits, so this is a bigger picture. Because now from what I understand, the interim the chief or who was the assistant chief doesn't live in the city either.
That's crazy.
So if you're required to live in the city for these positions, so I don't hold that chief at harm because he wasn't within the, he wasn't. I guess he didn't meet that requirement. But anybody that does and needs to, this city attorney had to resign because she wasn't living in the city.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and she had 2 years. She got a waiver for 2 years, but I guess St. Pete or wherever she lived is just way better than Tampa because
St. Pete is popping. Listen, they don't have their little issues, but the mentality and so forth, they've had their issues, but it's a thriving little city.
I guess so, because somebody was willing to give up that job to just to not have to move to Tampa from St. Pete.
Yeah, that was weird though.
I've never heard of that.
And plus, she was under fire anyhow. She was under a lot of scrutiny.
She was?
Yeah.
Well, how did she get elected?
She got appointed. It's appointed by the mayor.
She was the city attorney.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if this search is different than the search for O'Connor. The mayor got a lot of heat, a lot of criticism that this wasn't an open process. It was sort of she picked who she wanted and it was pushed it through. And they're saying that this time it's going to be more transparent. It's going to be a true nationwide search to find. It wasn't.
Did they say that? True nationwide search?
Mm-hmm, to find the best candidate. It wasn't
true the first time.
I'm saying true. They said it's going to be transparent nationwide search, community input. Which I guess means that nobody who's in that department right now is probably going to get it. But they definitely said that there was the interim chief who didn't get the job last time. Delgado. And someone asked the mayor, well, is Delgado in the running? And she's like, no.
Wow.
So,
Oh wow.
Delgado, whatever he did, he's not getting this job. So,
and you know the sad thing is also, and this is just around everything, is whether somebody likes you, whether somebody's insecure and they feel like they don't want to be challenged about the truth. You know, people tend, when they have power, they want you to sit and say nothing and go with everything. But if you have a different opinion, you have a different way of doing things, or if you challenge them on what's right, then you know they you know, outcast you.
Yeah.
And you don't think that, but people cannot. They don't like to be challenged, even with an opinion, or even with, you know, is that right, or do you think we should do that? You know, even with that.
that's true. Well, it'll be interesting to see who's in the running. See who's
They had a good contender the last time. This lady from South Florida. I mean, yeah, South Florida. They said
I was
she
wondering what happened to her, if she got some other position, and if she's still available.
I don't know. Well, now that Mary's gone, because I heard that she was one of the finalists. That I guess the mayor wanted Mary to be her assistant chief, and the lady said, "No. Why would I bring? You know, I'm bringing my own people. You know."
Right.
And I think that's what broke it.
She didn't want to be assistant coach. She wanted to be head coach.
Yeah. No, she didn't want to bring nobody in that she don't know to be her assistant.
Oh,
She bring her old baggage in.
How are there so many women police chiefs and there's no man qualified for that job? And I'm not trying to say women can't have it,
Hold up. It's been years of men.
I know,
yes.
but you got
within the last few years, it's just been one woman, and that was the mayor.
It's majority.
And this other woman was appointed.
Oh,
but it's been years of men.
I thought it'd been a few, but that's kind of a tough job for a woman to run.
Why?
Because you're in a male-dominated field when this is an aggressive field job. This is a job that you go out and put your life on the line every day.
And
you
women
walk out
do too.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, but let's put it like this.
Malcolm.
Okay, all right.
You're digging a hole.
What I was just saying, I just think that's a very.
You're digging a hole.
It's a hard. It would be a hard job for a woman to trying to run.
No, all the men have to do is respect the woman. That's all they have to do.
Well, think about what you just said. All they got to do is respect the woman.
That's what the men have to do. Just like a woman has to fall in place and respect the man.
We should.
Hey.
I'm calling you.
I don't actually think there are that many female police chiefs.
I think it's a lot more than what we think, but
New York. I think New York has one.
I'm with Robin. You know, like we've had years and years and years of.
I just think that would just be a tough job. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's just that you got all these egotistical, 2,000 or 3,000 men that are on the police force in a force. I mean, you got all these men. I mean, they're trying to tear you down in every move.
So if they love their mama, then they know how to treat a woman.
then it should be fine. Then it should be fine.
Well,
we hope.
That's a good argument for having a woman police chief, because
it's a tough job, man.
Knuckleheads,
need to control these aggressive men, and I mean, because men seem to allow men and give them a little bit more room. I don't know, man. That's the problem.
But that's the problem. So a woman is bringing something different. A woman, just like this is another show. The way of this world, all the screwed up mess that's going on is because this dang on world has been man dominated.
And I agree.
So now women are taking their rightful place to put things in order.
I agree. I understand.
Women can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time.
I can understand.
Men just sit and.
But all I know is just when the bullets start flying, it's gonna usually be the men running out there. I'm just saying. When the bullets start flying. When the bullets start flying, usually it's going to be the man that's going to run out there.
What are you talking about?
Not in Texas, not in that school. That men were scared to go in.
Well, that was because you got your superior telling you not to go. But there was just a few guys that just said, "Forget it, I'm leaving." Huh? I'm just saying, sis. I mean, it's
so if a woman or it's just like if they're taking the same oath. A woman is just as brave as a man. A woman would run in. she protect people. She has the same qualities as a man do. And I doubt very, very seriously, knowing the danger of being a police officer, a woman would not take that seriously. And what do you think she's going to do? Run and hide?
Absolutely.
Oh, you think she's going to run and hide?
Man, when them bullets start flying, man.
Oh my God.
Hey, all I'm telling you is this: when them bullets start flying, people change. It's like what Mike Tyson said: everybody is a fighter until you get hit. As soon as you get punched in the mouth, now all of a sudden, I'm not.
Well, this is going to have to be continued.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to then.
Continue this next
We
week.
will, because I'm not knocking a woman.
Boxing gloves, Malcolm.
But hey, 70% of the men gonna run.
I know. Don't try to clean it up.
Oh, okay. All right, we're going to revisit this next week, but Malcolm, you better be ready.
I have my statistics waiting.
Please.
Okay. All right. We will see you next time. And that Malcolm views are not the views and opinions of this.
I knew it was coming. I knew that was coming. My views, they are his views only.
They're his views.
They have nothing to do with the show.
We will see you next week on the Call for Help show. Bye.
Next
Bye,
week.
Rose.